Hello, YouTube. This is Q Dragon, the creator, writer, and editor of Brainstorm. I have a weird voice, which is why I'm with the host of Brainstorm, Jack. How are you today?
I'm good. I'm Jack Crowbar, host of Brainstorm, and he writes it, I say it.
Exactly. This is the first episode of what may become a thing. I don't know, where we just sort of talk more of a podcast format. And yeah, so hopefully you like it, and hopefully we don't just ramble on too long.
Yep. I think we're calling this one Braindrizzle. Faux shizzle.
Except that last part.
Sorry about that. Alright, so, science news.
Actually, there was an interesting article I wanted to include in next week's episode, but it was just too short, so it was just not enough to work with. I also wasn't sure how new it was because it was on livescience.com. They're not the best source.
They get the job done, though. They're good for browsing, but every once in a while they get stuff that's, like... They're good for, like, being able to tell, like, if it's on Live Science and other sites, it's probably gonna be other places, too, so...
Yeah, but also they have a lot of things that are just interesting stories, not necessarily news stories.
Yeah, and they're not necessarily, like, groundbreaking or anything, just... They're pretty decent. They're alright.
But it was an article about engineers, well, genetic engineers, made a tobacco plant that didn't stop growing.
Oh, I saw something about that on my Facebook feed. Yeah, that's really, really neat. Dude, that's going to be so helpful. I mean, people think tobacco plant and they just think, okay, lung-killing cash crop, which, yes, it is a very, very lucrative crop, but something about tobacco is just very easy to use in a science setting and can actually has some clinical applications, which is ironic, but the clinical applications are for actually producing genes that end up going toward other stuff, and it eventually becomes... Basically, we can genetically engineer tobacco to create medicine if we want.
Yeah, and ironically, because it's such a cash crop, a lot of research has gone into it, so now it's like a pretty common model organism when you're trying to make a multicellular plant product.
Yep. Yeah, it's true. And I think that's pretty good because, see, I was watching something. I was on Netflix. It was actually talking about tobacco and, the whole tobacco issue, what with the cancer and the health problems and all that good business. They talked to, like, some of the farmers, and one of the big arguments for tobacco is just, you regulate tobacco more and tax it more, you're going to hurt the farmers. And yes, the tobacco farmers are hurting, but they are also growing the most lucrative legal crop in the Americas. So while they're hurting, they're still getting a way higher yield per acre than corn, for instance. Basically, finding new applications for this particular very lucrative crop will actually probably do a lot to offset the net losses that those farmers are experiencing.
It was really interesting because, again, I don't have the article in front of me, but it said, like, the normal lifespan of a tobacco plant on a farm is, like, a few months, and then it sort of flowers and dies. But this one had been growing for, like, 8 years.
That is awesome.
And they just kept trimming it, and it was still 3 times larger than the average tobacco plant.
Yeah, I saw that thing. That thing was tall. It looked like a houseplant, and it was completely green. I mean, nothing about it was withered or brown at all.
So
Imagine
if they applied that to, like, tomatoes.
Oh gosh, I know. Or corn. Yeah, that's another thing. Prices of corn have been raising because more corn is going toward fuel and less is going toward like food and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I do think crop-based biofuels aren't the best idea, but so much fucking corn is made in your country, no offense. It's better, might as well go to fuel instead of high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah, well, that's not the only thing it goes to. It also goes to feeding cattle. A
Yeah,
lot of it
that's
goes
true.
to feeding
Yeah.
cattle, and just all livestock actually is pretty much corn-fed. Also, corn itself is just used, like, cornmeal is a staple in a lot of food. I mean, cornmeal can pretty much be used as flour. You can't, like, it's not necessarily a recipe substitution, but there's such a thing as cornbread, corn flakes.
Cornbread. Delicious.
Yeah, a lot of dough, all kinds of stuff uses corn as a grain, and it's a cornerstone of food production because it grows so quickly, and a lot of strains of corn are far less sensitive to fluctuations in like temperature and rainfall.
Yeah.
But the thing is, corn actually takes way more water to grow than wheat, for instance. So.
But isn't it also like crazy subsidized in the States?
Yeah, it is. Wait, I think corn takes more water than wheat. I'm trying to remember. You think I know that because I live in Kansas, but yeah, it's also subsidized. We need to go back to eating more wheat, though, because corn is super bad for us, and I think it might actually be costing the country in the long run, eating so much of it, because of diabetes.
Yeah, an idea I always had whenever I become a scientist is, like, genetically engineered corn, so it's, like, way different. It's, like, a complete, balanced sort of nutritional package, like mix it with soy proteins and boost the vitamin content, but it's still crazy subsidized. So I just like grow this ridiculously cheap like super corn.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Oh gosh, all throughout the Americas, actually, they're getting into corn production. Like down in Mexico, the people who grow the cactus that they make the tequila out of, they're actually just like burning whole crops because you have to like grow those cactuses, the agave cactus, for like 12 years before you can actually make tequila out of the gooey center.
Yeah.
They're burning those down so they can make room to grow corn because corn has become very subsidized and has become a major cash crop ever since ethanol fuel production has become a major supplemental fuel for use in the Americas.
So I think what you're saying is instead of making a super corn that's nutritious, I need to make a strain of corn that can be converted into agave.
Corn that becomes tequila. Actually, I don't think anybody needs any more tequila ever, so.
I'm just saying, if agave cactuses take so long to grow, and you could get the same syrupy product from a strain of corn, I would be rich.
You would be. Just make sure to patent that and don't let anybody else grow it.
We need a patent lawyer just in the call at all times.
Yes. We should call him Jeeves. Doesn't matter what his name is Jeeves. Jeeves, get on it.
Okay, so next episode, I'm calling a DPR and being like, I know you're British, and probably not a patent lawyer.
You know what? Your name is now Jeeves. Get on it.
Exactly.
Mute his microphone every time he complains.
Definitely. Speaking of DPR, kind of, this relates back to us. Venom Fang X has started posting on YouTube again.
Again?
Yes.
I thought he started posting again like a year ago. I stopped paying attention after he did that video in the towel. That video was funny, though. And then he stopped being funny, so I stopped caring.
He started doing Google Hangouts and talking to people. So, it was funny. I know we have new viewers, because he actually unblocked me. Someone messaged him. He was actually surprisingly nice, but he unblocked me, and I subscribed, just to sort of keep tabs on him.
Yeah?
And 3 people commented on the channel, why are you subscribing to this Jesus guy?
Well, that's not creepy at all. People were actually paying attention to who you're subscribing to? Oh my god.
It's kind of, we know we have dedicated viewers. They're from after we switched over to just Brainstorm.
Hey, alright. Thanks for watching.
Brainstorm started because I was getting bored with that whole scene. But since he's come back, I feel like a hitman that needs to come out of retirement for one final job.
Well, you know, it's like I said in the VFX disc. I mean, the whole community just feels so empty without him. I mean, sorry. It kind of sucks, and we should be ashamed of the fact that we need him. I mean, we shouldn't necessarily be ashamed, because he is a creationist who is charismatic and can actually put two sentences together in a way you're able to have a discussion with him. And it's just a fact of human nature and of communication as a whole that getting up there and just doing a speech, or you basically what you're doing is you're speaking an essay off the top of your head. It's very hard to do, to just pull from your own brain without prompts. With a conversation, though, you have the other person to prompt you so you know what to say. He's the other end of the conversation, which makes things flow better. And he's just the guy to do it because no one else is as good a communicator as him. At least no one else has, like, really come along and been able to maintain a steady enough presence. I mean, he's just the guy. He's just the guy that we're having the conversation with.
Yeah, and I think this time around, he's being really smart. He's not making one-off videos that are really easy to respond to. He's posting hour or two long Google Hangout with recordings of conversations with all different people. So I think it's a lot harder to respond to.
It is a game changer, and I guess if we want to continue to have him as the other end of the conversation, I mean, our other option is we got to start talking to each other.
Oh, fuck.
Oh god, it's like, it's family Thanksgiving all over again.
I know. So, I mean, I haven't done a video about that in so long. I actually have some new arguments related to abortion and the Bible origins. I might pop into one of his hangouts.
Bibles and abortions, man. That sounds like you got a party.
Yeah. I might end up in one of his hangouts. I'll see how nostalgic and or masochistic I feel.
Rock on, man. If you want me to come along, or I'll bring popcorn and just kind of, like, wisecrack. Or I could just, like, watch and stay silent if you need me to, because you may or may not want me in there, cracking wise.
I wonder if he's seen your video.
So many people saw that video. Like, seriously, I thought that thing was going to get, like, 300 hits top, and it's got over 1,000. That kind of scared me a little bit, because I did not feel like I wanted to try to top that, and I felt like I'd set an expectation, and it's, kind of why I stopped, but other reasons, too. Well, you know what was going on.
Yeah.
With my life, and videos really just did not fit into my life at that moment.
Yeah. One of the reasons we're doing this is that outside of Brainstorm, there was a lot of talk about other projects, but not a lot of action.
Honestly, we had a lot of good ideas, but it's just trying to figure out how to do the execution. We just sort of, like, kind of stopped short. Honestly, a lot of it was just a matter of motivation, I think, on both of our parts.
Yeah.
Motivation and lack of real direction.
And time. Because, like, It was so funny. I started online university in November, and as soon as I did, I got ideas for, like, 3 series. I'm like, fuck.
I know, God. Well, you know, you're doing university, so that means you're reading a lot. You're getting more knowledge input, which knowledge input equals prompts. A prompt leads to inspiration. I mean, it's kind of understandable, but at the same time, super fucking annoying.
So, Braindrizzle is going to be like this really ghetto-ass podcast where we just...
Yeah.
We are recording on 2 separate softwares.
SM Recorder and Audacity, both free.
I mean, you probably have a good mic. My mic is shitty, so, yeah.
Actually, you sound surprisingly crisp, especially considering how... Hold on. What? I'm recording!
No, you're not. You're on the phone.
I'm recording!
No,
Well,
you're not. You're on the phone.
what do you want, Gwen?
I don't know if you can fix my shirt.
God damn it. We'll just edit this out, okay, Q? Come on in!
We will?
Yes,
I don't
we'll
know.
edit it out.
I think she fit in.
No, I'm not on the phone. I'm fucking recording, dude, for real.
And we're also recording something that's not going to be edited, so...
Yeah.
How do you fix it?
How do I fix this shirt? Well, actually, it looks like you have wear and tear right there. God. Well, if you had, like, fabric spray that you could spray right there, that was the same color. But, that's not something that I can sew. I could patch it. I'm sorry.
Podcast gold, everybody. Podcast gold.
Say hi to the audience, Gwen.
Hi, audience.
That was my sister, ladies and gentlemen.
Speaking of other people, hopefully if I mean, if you guys like this, and please be honest, but not brutally honest, in the comments about what we could do differently. So we might have other guests. I know a while near the beginning of Brainstorm, I was on an interview kick, and I haven't done one of those in a while. So I might start bringing guests onto this show instead of doing the one-on-one interviews.
Yeah, so definitely tell us what you think about that idea. If you like this back and forth, if you like to hear us, just basically shoot the shit back and forth. In a way, this podcast is for the fans. People do get curious about the voices and the minds behind the stuff they like to watch. And also because we felt like the entire idea of Brainstorm could benefit from something with less structure. However, we would like to get more people on here because you will get sick of hearing from us and we'll probably run out of things to say without having another element to add to the conversation.
Yeah, I mean, Brainstorm, the whole idea is it has to be compressed and really, densely informative. So I think people would find this sort of more casual conversation style refreshing. So if you have ideas for guests, I certainly have ideas for guests, but if you have ideas, mention them. And if you have connections, that's even better to people.
Or if you want to be on the show, send us a line. Be like, I am this person, and I do X, Y, and Z, and this is what I have to add to the conversation, and, we'll definitely consider you. I mean, we're open to a lot. We want to get some good variety going.
Science vloggers, also just science students or scientists. I mean, that would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I might try and tweet some scientists and be like, hey, I want to come on our show, and just hope.
I don't know. Some might dig it.
Yeah, definitely. So, I think we've been on for 20 minutes?
Yeah, and I really probably should get ready to go to work. I have a smelly, smelly day job, so, I guess we're signing off. We hope that, we'll just call this the pilot.
Yeah, I always like to have an episode 0 when I start things.
Episode 0, because pilots should not drive trains. They wreck them. Hope you liked our train wreck.
That's the name of the episode. Braindrizzle episode 0, Trainwreck. Okay, everybody, bye.